Hello, this is Cindy from the Golden Land, located at angelfire.com/game/link40. Today is February 26th, and today happens to just be my birthday. I am 25 years old, and I have a receding hairline. Haha, anyway. I am going to be making you a video for kind of a thing that has been bothering me here. I want to talk to you about a game that I particularly actually loved going through, and that is this one. Now, this is a game that really doesn't actually have a rival like Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask or Zelda versus Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, but it kind of rivals what Nintendo decided to do to develop this particular game. And if you know your Zelda history, you of course know that, and if you do some history check, you of course know that there is a controversy in terms of the graphics that Nintendo decided to use when developing this particular game. If you look it up, go to any website, search engine, Google or whatever, and search up Space World 2000, and I guarantee the first thing that shows up are Zelda pictures of what that particular game may have looked like at one point. There are actually a lot of very interesting pictures that I thought were really cool. Space World 2000 basically is an event. I'm not sure if it still happens. Obviously, it's not 2000. I mean, this happened in the year 2000, but I'm pretty sure Space World still goes on every year. It's just not as big anymore, if it still does. But tell me if it does. If someone knows, tell me, because I don't really care about looking into it. It's just random information that would be cool to know. But anyway, this event was where Nintendo actually got together and showed off a Zelda game that everybody was very excited for. And it had the realistic graphics. It kind of followed the aspect of following adult Link from Ocarina of Time. And people were very, very, very excited about it. It showed Link fighting against Ganondorf, and it was just really cool looking. And then, not just a couple of months later, Nintendo decided to show off, I believe it was actually at E3 the next year, Nintendo showed off cell shading Link, and to much surprise, did not get the standing ovation that they had expected. Link turned into a little child. He had really stupid looking eyes, and it was very, very ill received. Which saddens me, actually. I'm a Zelda fan through and through, so I bought the game. And I reserved it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little bit disappointed, but once again, I have full faith in Nintendo, and I am fully in complete belief that they know what they're doing. So, with that in mind, I got a copy of Wind Waker when it first came out, brand new, and lo and behold, played one of the best Zelda games I have ever played. Have you played this? Have you played this game? Because if you haven't, because of its graphics, then shame on you. This game is absolutely spectacular. The storyline behind it, the concept of the graphics, yes, can be a little bit kiddish looking, but seriously, it is so enthralling. Now, okay, there are a lot of fighting arguments about why this game can be good or why this game can be bad, but one of the main reasons why I like this game a lot, and I hate it a lot, is the same reason: sailing. The first time you set out on your little dinghy and you are sailing across the great ocean, it is by far one of the greatest feelings in the entire universe when it comes to experiencing what you need to experiencing, or what you need to experience in terms of a video game. The music that hits when you hit that ship, and the way you go off, and it's just all so enthralling, and you just know you are in for an adventure. There is no other feeling than when you first take off in that game. And your ship, not the pirate ship, but your particular dinghy when you get one. And you'll know what I mean if you haven't played through it yet. But sailing also sucks in the same aspect. The quadrants that the sailing takes place in, it's like forever. It's like 10 minutes to get through one square. Okay, maybe it's not that long, but it's very, very long to get through a square, a quadrant, and then you get to the next section, and then sometimes you have to go through like 40 sections to get through the next area, and it can take a very, 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 very long time. The reason why I like the game so much, though, is because of the cell shading. The graphics actually are very well done in terms of shading exactly what it is in every aspect of the game. The first temple you go through is in a volcano, and there is lava all over the place, and your screen is constantly warbling. There is shadow effects all over the place. It is just a spectacular sight to behold when you are playing it on the GameCube. I was very impressed by it entirely. What impressed me the most is the first time you fight against Goma, which is the end boss of the first temple, and she's like this big, scorpion-type, weird-looking creature thing. And actually, a picture of hers right on the back. This is just like her face. But anyway, She's got like some claws or whatever on her face or whatever they're called. But anyway, when she comes out of the lava pit, lava flies all over the place, creating shadows everywhere, and it is absolutely spectacular to watch. You know, and the storyline though is so cool. It's seriously, it's one of the best storylines I think that Nintendo's written for a Zelda game. Zelda games, we all know, don't have very solid stories, but Wind Waker was a very, very well done. You know, it was a well done game. It followed the story in terms of Ocarina of Time. It takes place 100 years after Ocarina of Time. Eiji Aonuma has actually confirmed that in an issue of Nintendo Power. And I thought the game was just spectacular. I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing people hating on this game because of its graphics. Believe it or not, one of the most ridiculous things that I heard about this game is one of my friends, and I'm going to keep him nameless, but one of my friends said to me, or I offered him, he had this game reserved, and then when he heard about it, he canceled the reserve. And when Twilight Princess was coming out, he reserved that, but then when Twilight Princess pushed back to the year it was, he canceled that as well. But I told him, but he was excited to play through Twilight Princess, but would not play Wind Waker because of its graphics. And I specifically told him that I personally would buy him a copy of Twilight Princess and buy him a copy of Wind Waker if he promised me to play through Wind Waker first, at least halfway through the game. Now, if you've played the game, spoiler alert, so stop watching this now if you haven't played it and don't want it ruined. But if you play through the game, halfway through the game, we all know you go down into the Hyrule Castle and you get the Master Sword. That was my ploy behind it. If he could have gotten to that point in the game, he would have continued playing Wind Waker, because that's when the game gets fantastic. And it's not even really halfway through the game. You know, if you don't do anything except for straight up follow the story, it's pretty quick in the game. But I offered him to buy him both versions of the game, but he could not have his Twilight Princess until after he had gotten halfway through Wind Waker. And because of the graphics in Wind Waker, he refused the offer. I was going to buy him 2 games, and he refused the offer. And that is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever experienced when it comes to that particular game with those particular graphics. So, just wanted to make this a shout out here for Wind Waker. I love the game. I love the overall environment. A fan actually sent me a message on one of my past videos, I believe on my collection 2, and asked me what Link I like the most. I actually like the Wind Waker Link the most because of how involved Link is with the world. The character expressions they add into the game are just fantastic. The character involvement that he gets in with other characters, it just seems more appropriate that he needs to be a kid. The items that he gets don't seem to work well with an adult Link, like the Deku Leaf or the big Skull Hammer. Just, you know, it just seems to all fit together, and because of that, it really, in my opinion, brings out the character of Link in Wind Waker. So that's my opinion here about Wind Waker, and I'm sticking to it. Shoot me your comments. Tell me what you think about Wind Waker and what you thought about Nintendo's switcheroo here, and tell me if you have played the game or if you haven't. Because honestly, I really think that if you haven't, you should really take the time to go through it. Alright, I will talk to you later, and that's it. Yep, talk to you later. Bye.